New York's communists are coming for Uber and Lyft. Listen to this.
City bike ride could soon cost just $3. There's a renewed push tonight to put a cap on what riders pay for e-bikes.
Oh!
Bike undocked, timer ticking.
19 today already, $17. No, it keeps going up. This has become crazy.
Transportation Alternatives recently compiled the data of how much it costs to ride an e-bike for 45 minutes when you've already paid
Lyft
the more than
owns this, by the way.
$200 annual membership.
It is $12.15. That exact same ride back in 2020 was just $4.50. We've seen 8 price hikes since 2021 alone on these minute-by-minute e-bike surcharge fees.
That same 45-minute e-bike ride in Boston is $4.50. $2.30 in Paris, $1.35 in London, and $1.05 in Tokyo.
How come no one's asking why the price of these things keeps going up?
I've only got a few minutes to get across town. Good thing the City Bike dock is here.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh, that ain't gonna
Since
work.
Lyft acquired City Bike, the price has increased at a rate that greatly outpaces other transit systems in New York.
It's always the same strategy. Every time Lyft raises the price, they quietly cite a reason a few days before.
Oh, but they have a reason. Higher than anticipated battery swapping, insurance, and vehicle expenses. So it costs them more money to have City Bike in New York than in a place like Boston or in a place like Tokyo. Not to mention, New Yorkers pay the 3rd highest electricity costs in America, and these people are complaining about the e-bikes. Never mind the fact that you don't have to ride the e-bike, you could just get the regular bike, but communism only works if you're super entitled and you want the best, and you want somebody else to pay for it. Listen.
Here in New York City, we look at public bike share as private transportation. If you look at those peer cities across the United States and internationally, they view it as public transportation and they subsidize it publicly.
Right now, City Bike has a monopoly on our bike share program.
Christopher Marte is a co-sponsor of a bill pending in the city council that would have New York City subsidize the bike system and cap the cost of a city bike ride at $3
So everyone
like
else
the
is
bus
gonna
or the
pay for
subway.
it.
But it cannot happen until 2029 because City Bike, which is owned by Lyft, has a contract.
If we pass in the council, they would have to follow under that new contract. And
So I like how some of the bikes they're showing on here aren't even the e-bikes. But why do we want to ride e-bikes? Isn't electricity and power generation bad for the environment? Somebody should tell these communists that it's cheaper to ride the regular bike and better for the planet and better for their wallets, but they don't want to hear it. Listen.
It's just the most leverage going into those meetings.
Mayor Mamdani's office issued a statement saying, in part, in any near-term negotiations around bike share cost and looking ahead to 2029, the Mamdani administration will work to secure the strongest benefits for riders
Oh, the mayor's
and
not listening.
their wallets. Riders agree something needs to be done.
That regular yearly membership of 200 plus it's crazy.
If not, I'm going to buy my own bike.
But just why don't you do that? Why are people somehow not free to make their own decisions? Why don't people buy their own bikes? I bought my own bike. It's nice. I was riding it around New York all the time when I lived there, and the whole thing cost me $200, and I didn't have to pay to use it every day. Oh, but wait, doesn't New York have an amazing public transit system people could take instead of City Bike? Why not just take that? Yeah, that's not gonna work. The public transit system here is a disaster, and what nobody's talking about is this is the perfect opportunity for the communists that run this place to take their public transit system and beat these private companies up with it and show them who's boss and show them how to do things. Watch.
The G train is closed again? When the G train shut down, the best way to get around is a City Bike. But to bike from Greenpoint to downtown Brooklyn can cost $7, $8, even $10. It's just too much. For 5 years in a row, City Bike has jacked up its fees every single year. We have the most expensive bike share program in the entire world.
Right, and you know what the solution is? A working subway. Just fix the subway. People don't want to ride a bike in New York City when there's a heat wave or when there's the wintertime. It is literally the one thing nobody wants to do unless they have to do it. But since the subway doesn't work and costs $20 billion a year and is falling apart every single day, they have no choice but to ride a bike in the rain and risk their lives. The solution is so obvious to this. Just compete with the private sector, and beat it with the money you're already stealing from all of us.
Program in the entire world. The cost of a city bike shouldn't be a penny more than it takes to ride a subway or a bus.
But you can't
and we've
ride
introduced
the bus.
legislation to mandate exactly
But you
that.
can't ride
to
the
ensure that it's
subway.
$3 to ride your city bike, whether you're biking to Crown Heights, to Greenpoint, to Williamsburg, wherever you may be going. City bike is the best way to get around.
Yeah, because it works. That's why they can charge more than the subway. But as you're about to see, the communists cannot understand this. Listen.
It was capped at $3.
If we can, make it more accessible for more people.
A new campaign from Transportation Alternatives is calling for just that. The price cap for City Bike members at $3, the price of a bus or subway ride. Currently, for a member, it's $12.15, more for non-members.
My daughter, who recently moved to the city in her early 20s, really wants to use these for transportation, and we were actually just chatting about it the other day, that it's almost as much as a taxi.
It's not.
In 2021, about a year
bike.
after Lyft took over City Bike, its yearly earnings were about $88 million. By 2025, that rose to $229 million, and the price for City Bike has gone up each year as well.
When I first started riding, the e-bikes were a lot cheaper, and all of the city bikes were a lot cheaper. Then I think when Lyft took over, the price got shot up a lot. In DC and in Chicago, it was a lot cheaper to get around.
There's reasons
Councilmember
for that.
Lincoln Ressler says New York's bike share program is the most expensive of any major city. He introduced a bill to lower the price, but unlike this bike, it has yet to move.
So look, you can ride the regular city bike, the non-e-bike, $5. You can go anywhere you want for up to 30 minutes. Now, the e-bike prices, but look at this, the e-bike prices, they charge by the minute. Why? Because they run on electricity. It's like people want these things to be free and they don't understand what it actually costs to get on one and ride it around. And they have a reduced fare program so that people that are getting SNAP or live in one of the city-run housing apartments can get a cheap membership. So we're already trying to make it more affordable and more accessible. You know what the repercussion of this could be? City Bike just pulls out the e-bikes and says, okay, well, it's too expensive to operate those. We gotta have insurance. The batteries get stolen. We have to swap them out. There's all this storage and disposal associated with lithium-ion batteries because these things are ticking time bombs. Why don't we just get rid of the e-bikes and just have the regular bikes? But as you're about to see, the communists, they don't understand that when you mess with something like a private business, things collapse for the people who rely on it. Watch.
DCWP came out with today, said that average wages are up after these protections went into place, but that wages are still lower than they were pre-December 2023. What are you planning any other additional steps to get wages back up to what they were?
This is when they instituted the minimum wage. Listen.
And what are some of those steps that you can take?
I think first and foremost, I'd say that today is one announcement that is part of a larger vision that we have in our administration and also at DCWP specifically of how we can ensure that dignity is accorded to each and every New Yorker. And when we're talking about delivery workers, we're talking about people who are putting themselves through the worst kind of conditions. The moments where we are telling New Yorkers that they should be staying home, oftentimes the ones who are keeping them fed are these delivery workers who don't have that ability to do the same thing. And so, yes, you're going to look not only at ensuring that delivery workers are receiving the tips that they used to receive prior to attempted tricks with design interface redesigns.
Tricks?
And also beyond that, at every single tool at our disposal. Commissioner, I'm not sure if there's anything you want to add.
So the reporter wants to know why, after instituting delivery worker protections, did wages for delivery workers plummet during an affordability crisis? And here's what the problem is. New York City changed delivery rules in 2023 to mandate minimum pay rates. So now anyone doing delivery has to make $18 an hour. It's gonna go up to $20 an hour. The rate used to be $5 to $7, which the communists running this place before the mayor showed up and got into power had a problem with. They said, $7 an hour, that's too low. Let's mandate the higher rate. And what happened? Wages tanked. And they asked the mayor about that. And he said, well, we still need to protect these people. So he wasn't able to explain why wages went down for people after these protections came in. He wants more protections now because they're making even less. And he calls it trickery. He says these app companies are up to something, and that's because they hate them. But just before we continue, you know what's wild? My sponsor for this video, Cloaked, dared me to take my phone number and plug it into their website and see how exposed it is, so let's give it a try. They're gonna text me a verification code. Okay, that's in. Uh-oh, threat level high. Your personal information was exposed. 27 compromised records. Oh, wow, they got my social security number. They know exactly how old I am. They know where my new address is. And they've got the names of my parents, all my relatives. And here's the part that really annoys me. This entire system is rigged. You've got these data brokers that are out there making boatloads of money, buying and selling our personal information to advertisers, scammers, robocallers, even stalkers. And technically we agreed to this because it was buried in some 40-page document you had to swipe through on your phone and just click accept to get whatever the thing is working that you just downloaded. And every time you sign up for another website or another service, you're just feeding this machine. And this machine is betting you'll never do anything about it. And that's why I've been using Cloaked. Yes, it finds your personal information and helps you remove it, but what I really like is that it helps stop this problem before it even starts. I can create unlimited burner emails, usernames, and even phone numbers whenever I sign up for something. They still work for calls, texts, and emails inside the app, but data brokers can't connect them back to me. Instead of buying my real information, they just paid for useless data. That's how you flip the script on this entire industry. It also monitors the dark web to see if your information's exposed. Includes a built-in VPN, AI spam call filtering, and a password manager. And it even comes with a $1 million identity theft insurance policy. Head over to cloak.com/CashJordan and enter your phone number for a free security scan. It takes just a few seconds and you'll see if your social security number is being exposed. And the longer you wait to do this, the longer your personal information keeps getting bought and sold. If you're ready to take some control back, go to cloaked.com/CashJordan and you'll get 30% off any of their great plans. Now, let's get back to the video.
The city's looking to shut down a rideshare app, which claims to help riders save money. It's called Empower and gives drivers the power to set their own rates and take home all of the fare. But the city says that's illegal.
Oh,
News 4's Erica Byfield looking into it.
So
She's
it's
live in Union Square with this
illegal
rideshare
for people to make
battle.
money. Listen to this.
Yeah, that's right. The riders that we talked to today talked about how it's cheaper, but as you mentioned, the city is now saying it's time to shut it down.
Well, a coworker had told me about it, and I downloaded it, and then I used it to help me move.
Ethan booked an Empower ride from Manhattan to Brooklyn in February. It cost him $28. What sold him? The savings.
Probably like $10 difference. It was the difference between getting an XL and then a regular.
Empower has been promoting its service in New York City and offering rides since 2022.
And this company is saving people an incredible amount of money because it has a different business model. But that's not gonna work for the communists. They already hate Uber, they already hate Lyft, they're already trying to shut them down. And then somebody else comes along and undercuts them and provides the same service for less money, saving people money, earning more money for drivers. Communists can't have that. They can't have you out there earning money without them. They can't have anyone getting ahead because of their own ingenuity. God forbid a company makes a profit. Listen to this.
And now New York City is trying to pump the brakes. Last week, slapping Empower with a lawsuit saying Empower has not obtained the proper licensure with TLC or any TLC license. The agency is unable to confirm if dispatched drivers are TLC licensed drivers operating TLC license for hire vehicles. Yet Empower is surging in popularity, also operating in Baltimore, South Florida, Washington, D.C., and North Carolina. The company's CEO confirmed it earlier this month in a city council meeting.
Last week alone, over 10,000 drivers using our software and services provided over 500,000 rides to 150,000 riders.
So here's why Empower says they don't need a license. They say that they are a subscription model rideshare. They don't take a commission. They don't act as a dispatch. Drivers keep 100% of the money they make through the app. They just pay a subscription to access all of the customers who also want to use the app. The drivers make more money. The people riding around save money. And these drivers, they've got a TLC license anyways, but the app doesn't have it. So New York wants to shut it down during an affordability crisis.
That includes over 100,000 rides in New York City.
Joshua Sear explained that riders tend to save 15 to 20% and drivers get 100% of the fare. It's different from Uber and Lyft because Empower drivers pay a subscription and set their own rates.
Wow,
New
and
York
they can
City
set their
tried
own
to
rate.
stop the service from operating in 2022, and again this year, using undercover officers. The city issued summonses.
Undercover.
The company isn't responding.
So they have undercover cops during a police shortage where we have criminals all over the streets in New York. They have enough undercover cops to go after a business, but not to go after the criminals that are shoplifting and robbing people. And the criminal that started a fight in Barstool Sports the other day, that guy was a Uber delivery driver. They don't have the cops to find those people before they do something terrible. But oh, if you're making money without the help of the communists, they're coming for you. It's an undercover sting operation.
The Taxi and Limousine Commission, which regulates yellow taxis and for hire vehicles, wants Empower ruled unlawful. Now it's going after drivers and the owners of those cars. For the drivers, it's a $500 fine, possible loss of their TLC license. Car owners might owe $10,000. While Empower riders don't face fines, they might have insurance issues if there's a crash and other unknowns. A TLC rep added, "We will not look the other way while illegal operators undermine our laws, exploit drivers, and put passengers at risk."
I mean, the passengers are saving money. The drivers are making more money. New York's got the highest rents in the entire country. We got $6,600 a month average rents in Manhattan. The e-bikes are super expensive. But according to the communists, the only alternative from any of this should be the public transit system, which they're upset doesn't work all the time, which then forces people to take City Bike, which then forces people to look for a cheapest rideshare they can find. So they're very upset. They want you waiting in line for the free bus. They want you waiting in the crime-infested subway. They want you sitting around waiting for them to come and save you. And the fact that some other company can come along in spite of their rules and find a workaround that makes everybody happy, that just devastates them. That's why they want to shut down these companies. That's why they want to cap prices. To understand why New York is so backwards is you have to realize the people running it, they just hate success and they hate solutions that don't come from the government. Yes, City Bike prices go up, but City Bike solves a problem that people have. What is the problem? You can't get anywhere in New York. You can't own a car. There's nowhere to park the car because they redid all the roads. They put green spaces all over the place. The subway's dangerous. There's criminals all over the place. It doesn't even work. Trains are always delayed. You got waterfalls coming down the stairs. The problem that City Bike solves is on-demand transportation. It is the only on-demand transportation anywhere in the city, and it's cheaper than taking an Uber. But the government didn't come up with City Bike. All the government could do is regulate City Bike. All the communists can do is look at City Bike and figure out some way to punish it and to say that they're exploiting riders or that they're leading or creating an affordability crisis. How do you run City Bike? Well, you got to have workers that take care of the bikes and put them where they're supposed to go. And then for the e-bikes, you got to have electricity feeding into these things. The rates for electricity keep going up, but they want to cap the price at which an e-bike can cost. Why do the communists need the e-bike? These are not communists that want the free thing that stinks. Nope, they want the best thing possible ever invented by the capitalists to become theirs with the help of other people's money. You see, that's what this is. This is class warfare disguised as affordability talk. That's why they want the e-bike for free, because the regular bike's not good enough for them. Nope, they want the highest standard of living possible, and they want somebody else to pay for it. They don't want just a baseline existence. This is why the whole communist movement is doomed to fail. These people will not accept reality under any circumstances, even when they're staring at the reason Lyft exists in the first place. Lyft would be out of business running City Bike if the subway worked properly. People don't want to ride their bike in New York City. Nobody wants to do that. Even I, that own a bike, don't want to do it when it's raining or don't want to do it when I got to carry something. It's a horrible way to get around, but if it's the only one that works, people are going to be paying $12, $13, $14, $15 for it because it's the only way to get somewhere quickly. What do you think about that? See you in the next video.